Please make your way to the mat. Today's practice will be a seated practice. You will need 2 blocks or a couple books to place underneath your hands for changing positions. The seated practice is a perfect practice to do towards the later part of the afternoon, whether you might have missed your practice in the morning, or maybe you just went for a really long run with the missus, or by yourself, or just a little bit of extra practice. To begin, place the hands just by the hips, not on the blocks, but on the mat. Maybe scooting the skin out from underneath your hips so that you create an internal rotation of the legs. Begin focusing on your breath. So now we're going to start extending the arms forward, extending the chest forward, not trying to reach for anything in particular. And checking in with the breath. Checking in with the tight muscles. And then place the hands on the blocks as you come back up. And press the hands back and down as you lift the heart forward and up. Keeping the heels on the ground, doing that 5 times. And after the 5th one, come back. Take the hands back behind you about a foot, keeping the knees bent, and lift the hips up. Pressing into the heels, trying to lift the hips up a little bit higher. Feeling the breath move into the chest as you start to open up through the pectoral minor muscle and lower back down. Bring the hands back to the blocks, and again, pressing the hands back and down as you propel the heart forward and up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to do Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. So taking the right leg into Padmasana position. If this isn't possible, please do Janu Shirshasana instead. And as you extend forward, think about externally rotating the bent leg as you extend forward over the front leg. Checking in with the breath. Feeling a stretch move through the back and through the hamstring muscle. Releasing the legs out in front. Coming back. Doing our lifts. 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Set the blocks out to the side, trying the left leg. And again, Janu Shirshasana is a perfect entry pose to this if you're not doing the full Padmasana. Extending forward, keeping that external rotation of the left leg. Pressing the heel away from you with the right leg, keeping the quadricep active. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale there. Release the hands, releasing the leg out in front. Finding the blocks again. And again, doing lifts, lifting the heart forward and up by pressing the hands back and down. Starts to work into the lats. 4, 5. Awesome. Okay, Triang Mukha Eka Paschimottanasana is next. This is an internal rotation of the leg. So bending the right foot back, take an internal rotation of both legs, keeping that left heel pressing away from you, keeping the quadricep active. If you'd like an extra challenge, try lifting the right knee off of the ground as you come forward. This will help to move the hip further down towards the floor. It's also a lot more difficult. It's also not necessary. Just keeping the knee on the ground is totally acceptable. Coming back to our lat lifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and taking the left side. So again, the left foot points back, keeping an internal rotation of both legs. Right heel presses away, right quadricep is active. Trying for 5 breaths in each asana or each pose, but feel free to take extra breaths if you need to, if you're feeling a stretch in a particular place. 5 breaths is only a guide. Each individual is different. Again, if you'd like that extra challenge, lift the knee up in this asana, but not necessary. Releasing the hands, straightening the legs out in front, pressing the hands into the blocks, doing our lat lifts again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Setting the blocks off to the side, taking Janu Shirshasana. So the right knee is bent, the heel is back in towards the sit bone, keeping the external rotation of the right leg as you extend the chest and the arm up and over, trying to really deepen the stretch and feel the stretch through the right QL muscle. Keep extending the right knee back, keeping the external rotation. And so some may feel the stretch in the back through the QL muscle. Others may feel the stretch through the left hamstring muscle. This all depends on where you are at and your level of flexibility. It's going to look different for everybody. Inhale the head up. Exhale, release the hands, straightening the legs out in front, getting a hold of the blocks. Pressing the hands into the blocks, lifting up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Okay, set the blocks off to the side, left side now. Keep externally rotating the left leg, keeping the knee reaching back as you extend the left arm up and over. Press the right heel away from you. Keep the right quadricep active. Maybe feeling this in the right hamstring, or maybe feeling it through the left QL muscle, quadratus lumborum. Feeling a stretch through the back. If you need to, pause the video, spend a little bit extra time in these postures. Inhale the head up. Exhale, release the hands, straightening the legs out in front, getting a hold of the blocks once again. And doing our lifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Setting the blocks off to the side. Moving into Marichasana A. So this, both legs are internally rotated. Take the right arm around the back, trying to hold on to the fingertips or the wrist of the left arm, keeping an internal rotation of both legs, and draw the right scapula down the back, using the lat muscles to propel the chest forward. You may feel a stretch here into the right hip, or maybe again feeling the stretch through the left hamstring, depending on which muscles are tighter for you. Taking the blocks once again, setting ourselves up for our lifts between each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Okay, setting ourselves up for the left side. The left knee bends, drawing the heel in close towards the hip. The outer edge of the foot is even with the outer edge of the hip. Take the left arm around the knee, trying to hold for the right hand. Draw the left shoulder down the back, using the lat muscles to keep the heart moving forward. Right leg is straight, pressing the heel away, keeping the internal rotation. After 5 breaths, inhale the head up, releasing the hands as you exhale, straightening the legs out in front, taking a hold of the blocks. Once again, press the hands down and back to lift the hips up. 2, keep the heels on the ground. 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Okay, moving to Marichasana C. So we set up the same way as we do for Marichasana A, except this time we take the left arm around. So maybe the first step is to just hold on to the thigh, or maybe taking the left arm around and holding the hand underneath the left foot. Depending on your level of flexibility, you may be able to reach all the way around the knee, taking a hold of the right hand. Maybe just the fingertips, or maybe the wrist. Keep trying to press down through the right big toe, keeping an internal rotation of the left leg as you draw the right shoulder up and away out of the hip. And release, coming back to center. Straightening the legs out in front, taking a hold of the blocks, pressing the hands down and back once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Setting the blocks off to the side, setting up for the left side. Again, maybe just holding around the knee, drawing the shoulder close to the knee, using the back hand as support. Maybe taking the hand across, taking the fingertips underneath the foot, using that to stretch and go a little bit deeper. Or maybe you can reach the hands all the way around the back, maybe catching a hold of the fingertips, maybe the wrist. Keep the straight leg in internal rotation. Pressing down through the left big toe helps to lift the left shoulder up and out of the hip as you move the hip closer towards the floor. The hip does not need to be on the floor. It's just the action of moving towards the floor. And releasing the hands, straightening the legs out in front, taking a hold of the blocks, Pressing the hands into the blocks, lifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Set the blocks off to the side, bending both knees, taking Baddha Konasana now. So both legs are in external rotation, pressing the heels together, pressing the pinky toes together as well. Keeping the external rotation, maybe the hands help pull the big toes apart using the thumbs, or maybe the hands interlace, drawing the heart forward. Keeping the external rotation as you bring the chest forward. Maybe using the hands to help find that external rotation of the legs, keeping the sitting bones on the floor. Keep pressing the heels together. Keep pressing the roots of the pinky toes together. And inhale, coming up. Straightening the legs out in front, getting the hold of the blocks once again, doing our lifts. 1, press the hands down and back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Setting the blocks off to the side. Finding an internal rotation of the legs, and this time checking in to see how much length you now have in your hamstrings. This time maybe holding on to the ankles, holding on to the shins, maybe holding on to the heels, trying to fold, going a little bit deeper, finding some length in the back and the QL muscles, maybe some length through the hamstrings, keeping the internal rotation of the legs. And releasing the hands, coming back up to seated. Taking Padmasana position here. If Padmasana position is not available to you, take a simple cross-legged position. If you would like, taking full Padmasana, right leg crossing on top of left, or left leg crossing on top of right. Take the hands around the back, either holding on to opposite elbows, taking a hold of the feet, keeping the external rotation of the hips, pulling the shoulders down the back, bringing the heart forward. And inhale, coming up, releasing the hands, keeping Padmasana position or your cross-legged position. You may need to adjust. Bring the hands, first finger and thumb touch, rest the hands on the knees. Keep drawing the scapula down the back, keeping it retracted. Releasing the hands, giving thanks for your practice, giving thanks for the breath, releasing the cross-legged position, lying down, taking rest. Beginning to deepen your breath once again. Maybe taking the hands to the belly, or taking the arms overhead. Stretching the fingertips away from the toes. And gently make your way back to a seated position. Thank you for sharing your practice. Thank you for sharing the breath.